Hello guys and welcome to another week of building Kashyyyk. I know I've had a week off, but I'm back this week with another episode and it's going to be a pretty eventful one if I do say so myself. We have a really cool new minifig from Firestar Toys to take a look at, as well as some really good progress. But this is going to be another great episode of the weekly series where I build the Kashyyyk Imperial Refinery from Jedi Fallen Order. It should be a good week. I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we get into it, I want to say a huge thank you and shout out to the 3 donators that we had on the live streams in the past 2 weeks. We had Ludwig, we had Aaron, as well as Building Boundaries. So huge thank you to you guys. It really does go a long way to supporting me on the channel, as well as thank you to every single one of my members here on the channel. It really is a great way to support me to the next level. And if you're not coming to these live streams, I definitely would urge you to do so. It's really good fun. We have a ton of fun building sets, mocks, custom sets, and much more. Just talking about Lego Star Wars and everything surrounding it, especially at the moment when we've got stuff like Kenobi to chat about. It's really good fun. So make sure you come along to those. I do 1 or 2 every single week here on the channel, and to stay up to date and not miss out on those, make sure to hit that subscribe button and keep that post notification bell turned on so you don't miss those live streams when I do go live, as well as all the other content I do make here on the channel. But without further ado, let's head straight into the episode. Okay, so before we get into this next episode of Kashyyyk, I have a small package to unbox and show you right here. So we have a load of different stuff for Kashyyyk in here. This was quite an expensive one. It wasn't the cheapest brickling package I've ever done. Okay, so we have a load of bubble wrap at the top there, but we can start to get into the stuff that is going to be really exciting for this. We got a load of these 16 by 16 plates. Now these are really useful for building mocks because they just cover a huge sort of area of pieces. They were quite expensive. They're relatively expensive, but I found a store that had quite a few of these. So we have a couple in blue, we have a green, we have, I believe that's like a lilac or something like that one. That might be the lilac one up there. We have like a light blue. We have loads of these medium yellow ones. We have some light bluish grey again, which is good as well. And then we have a couple of plant pieces. Then in here we have a few random pieces. So in here we have some dark bluish grey, as well as a big window door piece. Then I believe any black pieces you see in here should be the ones to replace all that prototypes we have for the slanted sort of wall techniques that I have on Kashyyyk. I should have every single piece I need in here, so that should be really good to finish that off. Then we do have some lime green. I wanted to experiment a bit more with lime green in mocks and stuff, so I think that will turn out pretty nicely. Then of course again we have loads more dark bluish grey, pretty sick for Kashyyyk right there. We also have these cool miner helmets. I found these and they look pretty good, and of course it's a refinery, so maybe there would be a couple of miners and stuff on the planet, so maybe I'll mix those in with some Wookiees doing some sort of slave labor or something like that. We have some dark orange as well, which is pretty juicy, and then a little bit of light bluish grey and reddish brown mixed into these ones as well, so this is pretty good. And then finally we do in fact have a couple of minifigs, nothing to do with Kashyyyk here, but they are pretty sick. We got a Red Skull, and we did in fact get a Captain America. Now these are because I'm slightly getting into Marvel, which is pretty cool, so definitely stay tuned for some more Marvel stuff very soon on the channel. But yeah, let's get back into some more stuff about Kashyyyk. Okay, so the first thing I worked on this week was some prototypes and sort of like templates for where I wanted the walls to go. I really wanted to use these new railway pieces. I really love the way they add a small line down the middle. Now I did have this at a sort of angle, pivoted. I wanted to go with 3 sort of sections and 2 big main walls in between. This kind of looked a little bit weird. It fit perfectly with the amount of space I had, obviously, because I need to separate the base plates and stuff. There's only a certain amount of space I can get, so there was enough space here for another one of the railway pieces, but I wasn't exactly happy with this, so I decided to end up going with a completely different strategy. But before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to quickly add a few more details and scrap some mud into the actual landing pad right here. So you can see, just continuing this is going to be a running theme over the next few months and stuff, over just going through and just doing a little bit here and there of detail, just because I need to do a lot of it and I'm just going to chip away at it over the next few weeks. But then I went ahead and started to work on the actual design for what I wanted these panel pieces to look like. So I went with a sort of wider design, and I'm only going to go with 2 sections of the railway track. Now this was a pretty fun design. I had a lot of fun working on this, and I think this is going to turn out really nicely. So this was actually the second one I did, so I had my template all done and I just recreated it here. You can see we're adding some ingots to add some more details, we're adding some tiles and stuff, as well as some raised up sections, and I think this is going to turn out really nicely, and I can't wait to see what you guys think of this when we get it in place. But before I show you that, we're going to quickly add a few cheese slopes right around the edge here. When I first did this technique on the edge of the platforms on the other sections a few months ago, a few people suggested raising it out by 1 plate, so I tried that here and I think it does look a lot better. I'll compare the two sections in a little bit and show you what I mean by this. Basically, I've just raised the cheese slopes up so they're not on the same level as the tiles, and I think this looks a lot better, so I'll definitely get you guys' opinion here in just a second. But basically, yeah, the way I did the cheese slopes first was on the same level as the tiles, so you see there's a little lip right here. It's not perfect, whereas on these ones it's one step a little bit higher and these sort of sit above the actual tiles, and I think this looks a lot better. So I think I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this and replace it all the way along here and then onto the other side as well. So definitely let me know what you think of that, but I'll do that later in the episode. But before I do that, I wanted to show you a bit more work that I've done right here. So you can see basically I've changed the wall techniques to light bluish grey just to add a bit more of a pop right there, and we're going with 2 big sections rather than just the 3 smaller sections, and I think this looks a lot better. I do think the angle is a little bit too shallow maybe here. I think I'm going to increase the angle a little bit and make it a bit steeper and a bit taller, and I think this will look much better when we get this all set in place. I really like the way this is looking there. You can see basically we have a couple of big walls. These are actually reminiscent as much as I could off of the actual game. You have sort of like big sections with a line in the middle and then another big section, and then it starts to slope up towards the top. Then you can see also on a live stream I went ahead and tiled off all this front section in front of the entrance as well as in front of all these sections, and it will fit perfectly. It will sort of have no gaps or anything like that. I'm not going to have crazy huge gaps like you can see here on panel number 2, but this is going to look a lot better once it's all set in place, and I just need to raise it up and change a few areas on the second panel to get it all in place, and I need to change the angle of the first panel as well, and I think this will look a lot better. But on that live stream I also went ahead and worked on a couple of areas of this doorway. I just worked on building up the back section, so I can now go ahead and start to build on top of the actual doorway, because if you didn't know, it's going to go back to sort of like flush, flat, regular building, and we're going to add in a few nice details, including that classic Death Star wall pattern, or sort of like the triangular window pattern, which will look really nice. But I do want to just say this far section of the door I made in dark bluish grey at first, but to match the walls I think it would be better in light bluish grey. Let me know what you think of this. It would look a little bit weird having light bluish grey there, but I think this will be better because it will mirror what's on the other side of the doorway. Just let me know what you think of this in the comments though. Okay, so we're going to take a very brief break from building to show you an awesome Firestar Toys fig that has just arrived. Now this is my second beautiful Firestar Toys fig that's come in the mail for this mock. Now this is the Imperial Incinerator Trooper that we've seen from Season 1 of The Mandalorian. Now it's a really amazing high detailed fig right here. There is one thing missing from this guy however, but that is on its way right now from Firestar, so we will get that sorted. But how good is this packaging to start with? And then we do in fact have the fig right here, so he should have a backpack, but don't worry, that will be in the mail and that will be added to the fig in due course. But yeah, you can see we have some really nice printing details all the way around the fig. Really nice. I don't like how they don't go overboard. They don't have like crazy details on the sides or the backs of the legs, just like Lego would. So I think that's really nice. We did in fact get this new style helmet, because for me this is actually growing on me and it probably is my favorite now. And then we do in fact have an amazing nice detailed head under here, which is actually really cool. They don't advertise that at all on the website, but it looks really good, and I'm so glad they included this. Now this is a relatively expensive minifig, but with my discount code you can get a nice 10% off. So if you want to get a discount on Firestar Toys, you can use discount code FSSWBFigs for 10% off their entire range of products. Now it should have a backpack right here, but like I said, they forgot to include it, and they will be sending that very shortly. But yeah, even the print on the back looks really nice as well, so can't wait to use this. We also have a nice print on the end of the flamethrower as well, which is pretty cool. Don't know whether I'll switch this out for like a CAC flamethrower or something like that, but still really good fig, and I definitely will be including him into Kashyyyk. So another thing I worked on the stream was actually creating these replicas for this sort of slanted wall technique. Basically, you've got to have a load of brackets and different snot pieces to get those different cheese wedges all lined up perfectly flush to get this diagonal line in the walls. And I'm going to add them now into the walls quickly and put them into place. So now you can see I've done the first one here. Basically with this, I need to just place the first one in. It actually locks into a stud, and then the second one kind of just wedges in using the grey piece, just in a lot of tension. And you can probably see here I'm trying to push it down as much as possible to get this jammed right in there, and once you do, it looks really good. Now for the second one I actually had to swap the stud position because I forgot that I had replicated the exact version of the other one. So I put the stud over on the left hand side because I wanted the beam to be going across in the opposite direction. So then I popped the bottom left piece in this time, and then I put the dark bluish grey piece across the middle, and then finally the piece in the top right as well. And again, this one is just held in with tension, so you can see me really trying to push down and get everything forced into place place and everything holding nice and firmly. And you can see basically after that I now have this entire lower section pretty much done, and I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. I actually really like the way these walls look. So now moving my attention back above the doorway entrance that I built in the last episode, you can see basically I just recreated this panel right here that can go and sit above the door. We have some nice sort of triangular wall patterns. I think these look really, really good. I put the black in behind it just to add a bit of depth, and then we do have a few grills and a few different pieces to add a bit more detail right there. And you can see my plan is to either go right up against the actual piece right here and have it sitting flush, or I can offset it by half a stud and then have it sort of like with slanted pieces in front of it in the future. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but at least I have the options here. I can either have it back half a stud like you can see now with this slope in front of it, so it kind of covers it up and sort of integrates it more well into the actual design, or I can have it completely sitting flush, but we'll have to see as the sort of weeks go on and as I try out different things around this section. But overall I think this is looking really, really nice, and I can't wait to get some more building done on this area right here. You can see there's a couple of areas I still have left to do. I have a few areas of things to replace in the wall, as well as this big square right here, but otherwise we're looking pretty good for this week, and I'm really happy with the progress. Of course there's a couple more details that have to be added into the floor, like all the different mud patterns and things like that still need to go into all of those big template pieces that I've put in there already. But I think overall the progress this week has been pretty good. And that's everything I had to show you this week, guys. I hope you did enjoy this week of building Kashyyyk. It was episode number 13. I'm glad we're over 3 months in now. It's crazy. I've been really working on this for ages, and I'm really having fun still with every single section we're doing. I haven't had the most amount of time to work on the mock recently, hence why I missed a week last week, but I'm really glad we're back with another episode this week, and I hope I won't be missing any more episodes anytime soon. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Of course, comment any feedback you have about the mock, anything you change, anything you like, anything you dislike in the comment section down below, and also make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new. We're very, very, very close to 30,000 subscribers right now, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and of course hit that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.